morning, people. How you doing? It's me, Marty, aka P Dog Knight. Whatever you want to call me, I don't care. Just don't call me late for the show, which I'm about 30 seconds late if you ask Gunfox. But hey, good morning, everybody. It is the Morning Night Live, and before we get started, I have a video that just made my morning, and I just gotta share it. I shared it on Twitter, but I'm gonna share it with you before we get going, just because I think it's freaking hilarious. And here it is. Here we go. All right, you ready? Wait for it. Now, the person who posted this said she's got an ass that could break glass. All right, well, let's find out what that means. Ready? And away we go. Voy a darle 1, 2, 3 pa' abajo. 1, 2, 3 pa' abajo. 1, 2, 3 pa' abajo. 1 pa' abajo. 2 pa' abajo. Oh shit! Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's and on that note, today we're going to be doing Latin music just in honor of that show. Here we go. But before that, I got to play the intro because I need to get my coffee warmed up. I'll be right back in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P Dog Knight. Oh, sorry, I turned the volume off for a reason. Hello, welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, aka P Dog Knight, and I'm so glad that you're here. I noticed that a lot of you make it here earlier when I set up the show the night before, so that's what I'm going to start doing, whether I have a title or not. No, it wasn't just you. I turned off the auto because I was making a bunch of noise while I was getting my coffee, and I didn't turn it back on. So anyway, let me start over. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Night Live with your host, myself, a.k.a. P Dog Knight, also known as Marty, and on the P Dog Knight channel. Thanks for coming, and I hope that you are having a fantastic morning. So the title today, I kind of came in here and said, Armchair Elways in their 2020 Reversovision, which is a trademarked word that I just made up. It's so funny going around the internets and, oh wow, that's weird. Now my monitor has me really far behind. Anyway, I'm fascinated how so many people know exactly, and I mean exactly, what they should have been doing in December regarding the Corona apocalypse. And I'm calling them Armchair Elways. All these people type it on their computer. Oh, you should have known 3 months ago. And we talk about it a lot on this show. And so, and I'll have some examples later, but there's some things about this thing we're doing as far as shutting down the country, and as far as what we're doing to mitigate. Now, if you've noticed over the last couple of days, the number of cases going into New York hospitals has slowed. Okay, the number of deaths, the rate of death has slowed, even though they're still getting numbers. And rest in peace to all the people who are succumbing to this. But, let me start the music too. Little Latin flair here this morning. There's still so many people out there saying the president has blood on his hands. He should have acted sooner. He downplayed this. And it seems to me that the president and the team, because it's not just the president, believe me, remember the CDC is kind of the agency involved that is supposed to know about these things, and they're supposed to report to the president of the United States, and there's a National Institute of Health, and all this team seem to be on the same page. And so yesterday, as I'm scrolling through the internet, there's a prominent thing that pops up where apparently one of the president's advisors in January, and January 29th, now granted, this is just as we're getting into the human-to-human transmission confirmation, the fact that the World Health Organization was about to name this a global health emergency, not a pandemic, but a global health emergency, which means you have to be concerned with where you go and where you travel, but just short of restricting travel. Apparently, there was one person in the cabinet who had written a letter saying that this very well could turn into a major pandemic. Okay. And so they have a memo from January 29th and another memo from late February. And the problem with that is, okay, yes, this memo's out. This guy said, yes, we can have between 1 and 2 million deaths from a major pandemic. But did they have a consensus on that? Because if you remember back in 2009, when we were hearing about the bird flu, remember that? Remember the bird flu? H1N1? Do you remember all the hype surrounding H1N1? The H1N1 virus. Remember how we were going to have to, we could have millions and millions of Americans die from H1N1. Did we shut down the country? No. Did we lose people? Yes, and it's tragic that we lost people due to a flu. You know, I think that one, whatever. It doesn't even matter where it originated. It originated in Mexico and went across North America. And 61 million people in the United States got it. But we didn't shut down the country. And I'm not even, right now, let me just make this clear. I'm not making an argument today on whether or not we should have shut down the country, whether or not we should be staying in our homes and all that stuff. You know what? I'm going with the flow on that. There are certain factions that say, was this necessary? Is this really working, or is this something that they're going to say work when it's over? But there are signs that this whole thing is dissipating, and it could be due to that fact that we're doing the social distancing. I'm not making an argument about that. But if we had this same panic during the H1N1 flu, would we have acted on certain things sooner? Now, if the H1N1 had turned out anywhere near as bad as they were predicting, which it didn't. In fact, it turned out that particular flu season was actually kind of more minor than the flu season since then. Or excuse me, it was. Thank you, Matt Fields. Let me just stop and do this super chat real quick. Thank you, Matt Fields. Welcome, by the way. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday. Did you see the Babylon Bee Constitution dies of coronavirus? Nope, but we're going to find that one today. Thank you, Matt Fields, very much for the $10 donation through the Streamlabs link. If you want to be a permanent part of the show, you can throw a couple bucks in the tip jar and write any kind of message you want to bring to my attention, and I will read it on the show, as you know. Also, thank you for everyone who's already hit the like button. You can do that sometime during the show, and please share this stream out either through the share link down there somewhere. Oh, where's my camera? Okay, down there. I forgot where my camera was. Down there, that stream arrow, you can hit there's share arrow. You can click that in a couple clicks, share it out on your favorite social media, or you can follow me on PDogKnight at PDogKnight on Gmail, Twitter, Minds, and Gab. All right. But anyway, there's so many people out there who apparently knew months ago, because they said the president knew months ago how this was going to turn out. Despite the fact that some of the experts around him didn't even know how it was going to turn out. Some of the experts around him didn't even say whether or not we should change our lifestyle because of this particular epidemic. And in fact, one of those people was Dr. Anthony Fauci. I showed you this video a couple days ago, but I'm going to show it to you again. What Dr. Anthony Fauci said on February 29th, 2020. Okay, we're going to listen to, let's see, how long is this again? I don't want to, okay, here's Dr. Anthony Fauci. Let's see, put them on a full screen there. Here's Dr. Anthony Fauci, February 29th, 2000. Okay, I'm probably going to get an ad. Okay.
These people are here to pick up the same prescription. They both know drug costs are out of control.
We'll mute the ad for a second. Sometimes these people. All right, here we go. I'll put it back on now.
Director of the Infectious Disease Department at the National Institute.
This is not the important part. Let's just skip ahead a little bit here.
You know, it isn't a question of the accuracy of the test. Right now, and there has been some delay there, there's the question of the availability of the test. And that was something that was a problem that is now being rapidly fixed by the CDC as we're getting many, many more tests out there so that the health departments and even individual hospitals can be able to test much more easily with the results getting back much more quickly.
So, Dr. Fauci, it's Saturday morning in America. People are waking up right now with real concerns about this. They want to go to malls and movies, maybe the gym as well. Should we be changing our habits, and if so, how?
No, right now, at this moment, there is no need to change anything that you're doing on a day-by-day basis. Right now, the risk is still low, but this could change. I've said that many times, even on this program. You've got to watch out, because although the risk is low now, you don't need to change anything you're doing. When you start to see community spread, this could change and force you to become much more attentive to doing things that would protect you from spread.
Dr. Fauci.
Okay, so now I'm not saying anything bad about Dr. Anthony Fauci here. Do not get this wrong. What I'm saying is, based on what they knew on February 29th, 2020, even though in the background they're trying to make sure they get tests, they're making sure they've just had begun talking to companies about possible, getting equipment and things like that, because they're figuring out that they don't have enough. But we're still saying, as of February 29th, no need to change your lifestyle. Now, in Wuhan at the time, in February, that's when they were just beginning to have quarantine. They basically cut off the entire city of Wuhan and were, welding people into their living quarters. But even during that time, it's estimated that up to 5 million people left Wuhan during the month of February. Now, they weren't necessarily coming to, January and into February. But they weren't coming to the United States. Now it's funny, because I was as I'm on Twitter as often as I am, I've been getting a lot of notifications of people responding to things that I've said. And I got an interesting reply from someone named Sebastian. And Sebastian began talking about Germany. The music a little loud? Is it a little loud? Okay, we'll try and see if I can turn that down. Hang on a second. Oh, that was even louder. I'm gonna have to do this a different way someday. I'm gonna have to just make my own mixes and combine them where I can change the volume on them. That's the problem. I'll turn myself up a little bit. Hopefully that'll help. And I'll turn my mic up a little bit. All right, let's do on this. Oh, I do have a bit of an equalizer problem, don't I? It's really loud on one side. Okay, well, we'll figure that out another day. So anyway, this is Sebastian, and he was replying to someone here because as I'm talking on this particular thread, this is talking about January. Tony Fauci was on the show telling America not to worry about the coronavirus, that it wasn't a major threat to the people. This is January 21st, 2020. Here's Anthony Fauci again.
But this manageable numbers. Bottom line, we don't have to worry about this one, right?
Well, obviously you need to take it seriously and do the kinds of things that the CDC and the Department of Homeland Security are doing. But this is not a major threat for the people in the United States, and this is not something that the citizens of the United States right now should be worried about.
All right, that's on January 21st. Wow, a lot of people said that we should have been doing something in December when we didn't even know about it yet. And yet on January 21st, even the man that everyone looks to says it's not something we need to worry about yet. Now, a few days later, China finally admitted that there was human-to-human transmission. And so Dr. Tony Fauci, the task force was formed on January 27th. They didn't announce it until the 29th, but they started meeting Monday, January 27th, because now there was human-to-human transmission. Dr. Tony Fauci's on that committee. He's one of the people who are trying to tell us what we should do about this. So there's two clips from January and in February. So you wonder why the President of the United States himself, they say he tried to downplay it in January and February. Well, maybe because the top advisor on his team was saying some of the same things in interviews. All right. Wow. Cases top 10,000 in Africa. Here's the one thing about that, Lindsay, and I got to say good morning to everybody. Here's the thing about the topping 10,000 cases in Africa. Africa's a huge place. And most of the climate in Africa is warm and humid. Well, not everywhere, but warm and humid in some places year round. Some it's warm and dry. Where apparently they've figured out that the transmissions aren't as prominent. It doesn't go from human to human as well. As in warm humid climates. So hopefully that obviously has probably mitigated the factor so far, because remember, there are lots of people from China who travel from China to Africa to do business, especially East Africa and like Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Mali. There's tons of Chinese people in those countries because the Chinese have really begun settling in Africa, moving to Africa, whatnot. So anyway, hopefully that's not going to be a too big of a factor. But anyway, so back to this. Oh, all right. Before I get to this thread, I got to say good morning because I haven't done that yet. Because today, Gunfox was first and gets the bell. Good morning, Gunfox. Oh my God, my bell didn't work, you son of a gun. What the heck? I just had this set up and fixed. I'm embarrassed. Gosh, I have to find a new soundboard that works all the time because mine resets over and over and over, and I just am so bummed about it. But I have to have a bell because that's my most. Okay, there you go, Gunfox. You were first. What the hell? Oh, that's since I turned my sound off. I can hear it. You can hear it. There it is again. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the Morning Night Live is brought to you in Boomervision. All right. Good morning, Gunfox. Good morning, Rolling Bear, Chi-Town J, Jaeger Pony, Richo, my friend from down under, Maniac Man, Smarty Bear, Peter Allman. How you doing, my friend from over the other side of the pond? Good morning to Oh, well, that you guys were y'all were in the chat early. There's a whole bunch of other people here. Green Badger Outdoors, Duck, no, not Duck Dog, Maniac Man, I got you. Jay Wolf, how you doing? Zero the Hero, Tyler F. Hello, Kessler. Good morning to Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. And I see Duck Dog, Chi-Town J. I'm like Captain Kangaroo. Was it Captain Kangaroo who did that? Who was the one that's used to say hi to everybody in the show? That was it Captain Kangaroo? I can't even remember. Anyway, good morning. This is Kyle, D.I. Freighter, W.R. Costin, Lamented Guide, Ricky Ravioli, Cynical Lindsay. Man, everyone's rolling in now. And a bunch of other people. Jack Fernstrom. As I scroll and scroll and scroll. I think I've got everybody who's in the chat. Also, good morning, C. Thomas. Pete, what's up? I'm not here. Shh. Sorry, I blew it. Anyway, and also good morning to the people who might be lurking in the background. Oh, and everything just froze. Okay, there it unfroze. It unfroze quick. P-Dog Night lights feet. Confirmed. I'm not exactly sure how you confirm that, C. Thomas. I just don't know. Anyway, all right. So, all right, back to this Twitter thread, because I talk about Twitter a lot. But anyway, so somebody here said clearly we had nothing to test.
Bottom line, we don't have to worry.
Now, of course, on the third, this is on April 3rd. This Greg Kelly put this up here. Tour Player Coffee says clearly we had nothing to test at the time and could really only go by what China was telling us, who had lied their face off.
China is asshole.
So what's the point? Something was wrong, and then they learned as time went on. Bet you've never done that before, Greg. Okay, the point is that the Democrats are claiming that the experts knew is revisionist history. Exactly. This is for the "they should have known 3 months ago" crowd. 3 months ago was January 4th. At the time, the country of origin that shall not be named first reported the virus to the WHO on December 31st. In late January, they were saying no evidence of human-to-human transmission. In late February, they were still following the experts' advice. That was Tony Fauci that we watched earlier. And of course, the famous World Health Organization tweet on January 14th, talking about the lack of human-to-human transmission. So, and then 3 months ago, or on January 5th, there were only 59 no cases in China even at the time. And they had no evidence yet of human-to-human transmission. The CDC issued a level 1, which is the lowest level of travel watch. And the next day, and they offered help to China, which was rejected. Correct? Correct. All right. Good morning, Seamus Derby and Hey Larry. What's up? So now, this is Sebastian, who's from Germany. Good morning to the gayest person on YouTube. I missed you. You haven't been around a lot lately. Unless you've been lurking, that could be. And good morning, Gorilla Pirate Pete. So this is an answer I got from somebody, and I found this is a pretty interesting answer, because there's a discrepancy in the European Union as to the countries that are where this is becoming prominent, and one of them, whereas Germany, they seem to have had some success. Now, here's what he writes. Over here in Germany, we started preparing mid-January. Preparing for what in mid-January? I'm curious, because by mid-January, there was nothing to prepare for. Just curious. You guys are literally in the competition trying to point out that all of your government knew, but they told the public it was nothing to worry about, so they don't panic buy. But then the government didn't prepare. What would we have prepared in Germany for a virus that had not come into our country yet, and that there was no evidence of human-to-human transmission? What exactly do we prepare for in that case? I'm just curious. And I want to check the facts on how Germany prepared for it in January. Out of curiosity, how did they prepare for it? That's number one. He continues. It is one thing to tell the public the danger is low. It is another thing to know about the lethality to evidently get expert opinions about it being dangerous, and then proceed and not get tests ready, not get personal protective equipment, and not get ventilators for 8 weeks. Again, in January, 59 cases in China. No evidence of human-to-human transmission. What are you getting that for? Then he said, Germany tested hundreds of thousands of people in February. We are testing 350 people a week now. That's the equivalent of 1.4 million tests in a country the size of the U.S. Well, I don't know if they meant equivalent. Trump didn't prepare, and now you're busy blaming local governments, which is pathetic. He alone couldn't fix it. Interesting. We are testing 350 people a week now, he says. We're testing 130,000 people a day right now. And like all the places where this has become prominent, where people are dying, we're starting to see evidence that curve is ending. Now we have about 10,000 dead in the United States, at least, and I haven't looked at the numbers today. But here's another issue. When you try to compare one country to another, okay? Number one, well, in Germany, there are roughly 130,000 Chinese nationals living in the country of Germany, which is geographically about the size of Montana. The United States has 2.5 million Chinese nationals living in the United States. Now, this has nothing to do about, this is not a virus that only affects Chinese, obviously. But why is that an important point? Well, because if you think about the number of people who travel between China and the United States versus Germany and the United States, about 20 times more people travel between China and the United States than Germany and the United States, if you assume that it's about equal to the number of people who live in each country that are Chinese nationals. Okay, that doesn't even include people who are Chinese American citizens who are born of those Chinese nationals. That doesn't even count them. That's just the Chinese nationals living in the country. So if you have 20 now. The reason that is also important, okay? Think about where the hotspots are. What's the other big global hotspot that happened just before us? Well, that was in northern Italy, where there are about 100,000 in northern Italy alone. Just in northern Italy, where they're having all the problems with this, the major problems with the Chinese coronavirus. In northern Italy, there are 100,000 Chinese nationals just in that part of the country who work in that part of the country, because there's several companies in northern Italy that the Chinese own, mostly fashion, textile, clothing companies. Okay, because one thing that about having companies in Italy, a clothing that has the little label on it that says "Made in Italy." There's a prestige to that. And the Chinese business people figured that out and said, oh, we're going to buy these companies. So 100,000 people who live in northern Italy that are Chinese nationals. And in northern Italy, there are daily, or at least there were, I don't think there are currently, there are daily direct flights to northern Italy from Wuhan. Wuhan specifically. So here's the thing. Let's say you have this virus, this new virus that they don't really know the nature of, and you have it happening in one particular town in a country that shall not be named, although they already have.
China is asshole.
and people travel from that area regularly, thousands and thousands of people, the places where that virus is probably going to show up is where those people travel most. Oh, shocker, in the United States, the first place that we found the virus was where? In Seattle, Washington, where there are direct flights between Wuhan, China, and Seattle. The very first case we found in the United States. Large Chinese population in Seattle, and also in California. A lot of people on the West Coast are from China. Where are the biggest places where it's happening? Oh, wait, there's also another place in the United States where this has blown up the fastest. And again, I am not blaming Chinese people. Okay? This has nothing to do with Chinese people. This has to do with Chinese government.
China is asshole.
The other place where there is a huge number of Chinese people is New York City. There are daily direct flights from Wuhan, China to New York City. Now, granted, now, because of the way people travel in the United States, and because the United States is a great travel destination for people from around the world, imagine if there were people, not only in those two places, because that's where the hotspots were, and there's hotspots all over now, because I'm sure there's a fairly big Chinese population in Detroit. I'm sure that there's plenty of people in China who want to check out Mardi Gras. Oh, they had the Mardi Gras parade still. Those are the places where, in fact, New York City has the largest Chinese population of any city in the world outside of China. Okay? Now, so people travel and they don't know they have the virus. And this is a virus that doesn't show up immediately. You can spread the virus 3 to 5 days, at least that's what they say now, 3 to 5 days before you actually show any symptoms, or you may never show symptoms. So people who are traveling, even if you were checking their temperature at the airport, if they're coming from there, you don't know that it's coming here. Yes, so here's the thing, when President Trump, as they figured out that there is human transmission, and the next day he shuts down travel from China, and people are saying it's too late. Yeah, you're right, it is too late. It is too late to stop anyone who's already made that trip. And in fact, roughly 14,000 people over the prior month had made that trip from China, and a lot of it from Wuhan. Various places in Wuhan, Beijing, whatever. But at least stopping that travel stops you from importing more people who may be infected. Now, granted, those people are all over the United States, and in fact, all over the world. Chinese people travel just like everybody. People travel all the world. We're a mobile country, and especially the people in Italy. Okay, so people in Italy, say there's people in Italy, and a bunch of people travel from Wuhan and bring the virus to Italy, and people in Italy are getting infected, but they don't know they have it. They're traveling to Spain or Germany or wherever in Europe. That's how it spreads. The armchair quarterback saying that Donald Trump should have known in December is talking straight out of their asshole.
China is asshole.
So, rant completed. Now, so, and believe me, tomorrow I was going to do a bunch of these today, but Lindsay mentioned some things that are happening in other countries, and Gunfox sent me a couple articles that I want to go through, how this is affecting other countries. And so I'm going to show you a couple of articles here in a second. But man, it's just like look, everyone who has 20/20 vision backwards, it's pretty easy to predict things that already happened. But again, had we acted like that, now again, I'm saying if H1N1 had turned out as bad as they expected, because they were predicting it could kill between 3 and 10 million people. But we didn't declare an emergency. People were dying that spring. We didn't declare an emergency. And in the end, about between 12 and 18,000 people died from it, depending on how you determine the people died. And, you know, right now we're already having a bad flu season. I wonder how much of this is, you know, has to do with this thing. People just thought it was the flu. But you can't look backwards and going, well, you should have known. The signs were there. This one person knew. This one person wrote a memo that between, 1 and 2 million people could die from this. Oh, yeah, they should have only listened to that person. Well, had they listened to that person, you'd have had this right. Well, if I shit a dog, as the hard bastards like to say, if I shit a dog, it would probably bark too. But it didn't. Hindsight is always 20/20. When you're watching a football game and your quarterback passes an interception and you're looking on the instant replay and seeing the other receiver was wide open, well, why didn't you throw it to that receiver? That's really easy to do. Armchair Elways. But your Reversovision only works after the fact. I dare defy you when someone says they should have known on X date or X months ago or whatever, challenge them to go back and find out exactly what was being said on the date that they're referencing. So if they say they should have known 3 months ago, okay, what did we know about this on January 7th, 2020? You want to go look that up for me before you talk straight out of your butt? Talking straight out your ass. All right. Got a few articles here. Thank you, Gunfox, of how this is affecting a few other nations. And honestly, I don't want this to sound callous at all. I do not want this to sound callous. More people are going to die. It's awful. And, God rest their soul. Every single person who dies from this. There are thousands and thousands of people trying to mitigate that as best they can. President Trump, despite my differences in style, and the people that are around him working on this are doing everything they can to make sure this doesn't happen. Oh, another interesting milestone. Yesterday, more people have been discharged from hospitals over the last couple days in New York City than have been admitted for the coronavirus. I think Mario Cuomo said that they are fine, right? At least as of yesterday. You never know how a flare is going to happen, but apparently that their need for ventilators, it seems though they have enough right now. Again, as of over the last couple of days, more people have been discharged than admitted. That's really good news in one city. Now, granted, there are other cities where it's happening, and but that tells you that New York, which is the epicenter for this, at least has something that they can. The light at the end of the tunnel. I laughed because I think Trump tweeted something about there being a light at the end of the tunnel, and the TDS crowd was saying, well, please go towards the light. Fucking assholes. All right, let's check out a couple articles. What's happening in some other countries as far as this goes? Thank you, Gunfox, for these articles. These are fantastic. In Venezuela, the elderly feel sentenced to euthanasia under this coronavirus quarantine. Caracas, Venezuela retirees Carlos Blanco, 81, and Olga Rodriguez, 78, have for more than a year been unable to purchase the diabetes medication they need, as the country's hyperinflation has left their monthly pensions insufficient to buy even a loaf of bread. Well, that's okay, because, you know, if Donald Trump said that diabetes medication was good for diabetes, someone in the press would probably tell you, did you know that if you take twice the dose of diabetes medication, it could kill you? Anyway, already at high risk in the coronavirus pandemic because of their age, the couple's untreated type 2 diabetes leaves them at greater risk of any type of infection, as well as complications including blurred vision and diabetic comas. They are now confined to their home, living off the food they have in storage after President Nicolas Maduro declared a quarantine. Blanco says he feels like they've been left to die. Senior citizens have been sentenced to euthanasia, said Blanco, who lives on the 4th floor of a building in the Coche neighborhood of western Caracas. The coronavirus outbreak has sparked concern around the world for elderly who are more vulnerable to the COVID-19 respiratory disease caused by the virus, but the plight of the senior citizens was already acute in Venezuela following 6 years of brutal economic crisis and chronic problems with power and water services. Blanco and Rodriguez, like 3 million other Venezuelan retirees, struggle to live on state pensions of 250,000 bolivars a month, the equivalent of about $3. It always cracks me up when you start talking about how hyperinflation devalues currency. Like in Zimbabwe, they have $3 million notes that are about worth a nickel. I don't know. 250,000 bolivars a month. Wow, that's a quarter of a million bolivars. The equivalent of about $3, which can at best buy a few pounds of chicken or several kilos of corn flour. Well, that's actually pretty good. If $3 can buy you a few pounds of chicken or several kilos of flour, if you can find chicken and flour. Anyway, a survey published in November by nonprofit groups Convite and HelpAge, 77% of Venezuelans over 55 said they did not have access to enough food, and 1 in 10 said they go to bed hungry. The elderly have faced a progressive decline in their living conditions, malnutrition, inability to pay for their medicine, lack of access to health, migration of their children and relatives, said Luis Cabezas, director of Convite, which focuses on human rights. Wow, now I thought this was a socialist utopia. I thought the stores in Venezuela were just packed with food. In fact, I saw someone from Vox or somebody who went down there and showing you these beautiful grocery stores just packed with food. Yes, calling that euthanasia is a bit hyperbolic. I agree with the Advocatus Diaboli. However, the group estimates that at least 900,000 senior citizens are living by themselves following a migration exodus of nearly 5 million Venezuelans who have fled the economic crisis since 2015. The Information Ministry did not immediately reply for a request or comment. Venezuela, as of Sunday, officially reported 159 cases of coronavirus and 7 deaths. Again, I think right now in Venezuela, it's still a warm season. That's what, again, you cannot compare a country because there's so many factors of why there might be more cases in one country than another. I think the biggest factor, at least as far as I'm seeing where the biggest hotspots around the world are where people from China go. Again, I'm not demonizing Chinese people or people who travel or whatever. The Chinese government, when they discovered this in the middle of December and didn't know what it was and refused to talk about it and didn't tell anybody until January 31st, and then refused help from outside agencies and scientists to figure it out, they waited too long. they didn't take the help they should have got. Hello, Chadwick Dupree. How you doing? Nice to see you. Hi, all you need. I think I said hi already, but I'm going to say it again. And, all right. I think I got you there. So anyway, now, and here's the other part that really about this article. So, Avocados Diabli, I agree with you. Calling it euthanasia is a bit hyperbolic. And this title, Venezuelan elderly feels sentenced to euthanasia under coronavirus quarantine. Interesting that they have a quarantine for coronavirus in Caracas. Of course, you know what? It's seasons are changing now that I think about it. As it's getting warmer here, it's getting cooler there. But part of the problem is they have so many other economic problems that it could be deadly for the elderly there. Everything's deadly for the elderly. Living there is deadly for the elderly. If they can't get their diabetes medication, that's not good. Just not. All right, moving on. Ecuador. Bodies of COVID-19 victims pile up in the streets of Ecuador as residents beg authorities for help. As the coronavirus pandemic rips through Ecuador, some cities are struggling to cope with a deluge of fatalities, pushing residents to make harrowing pleas for help as the bodies of loved ones accumulate in the streets. That can't be good. The port city of Guayaquil. Okay, I'll just say Guayaquil. Around 260 miles south of the capital, Quito, has been especially hard in the outbreak, leaving hospitals and morgues utterly overwhelmed in a flood of new patients and deaths. With local authorities unable to keep up with the influx of casualties, President Lenin Moreno has created a task force to tackle the problem, tapping Jorge Wadid, board chairman of Ban Ecuador, a self-described public development bank, to lead the effort. Seeking to ramp up the collection of bodies, Wadid has allowed funeral homes to sidestep a nationwide curfew to work into the night to gather the deceased, and has dispatched teams of soldiers and police to pick up corpses from homes, hospitals, and even the streets around the city. The efforts have still fallen short, however, sending countless citizens to social media to make desperate pleas for help, appealing directly to Watid through his Twitter account, where he shares frequent updates on the grim task at hand. So here's Jorge Watid Rishuan, something like that, and it's in a language that I do not speak. But here it is. Help me, for the love of God, one person said to Watid earlier this week, providing a home address and the name of a deceased man. Nobody takes him. What do I do? I beg you. Jorge, I have a case. Deceased, going on for 3 days, already decomposed. Please contact me, another man wrote. Left with few other options, social media appears to be the last recourse for many residents, with whom Watid's tweets garnering dozens of similar urgent requests. So that's frightening. We don't have people in the streets yet, but that's, I don't even know how to do that. Good morning, Jen T. How you doing? Good morning, Daryl Parnas. Bring out your dead. Okay, so that's in Ecuador. And now here's I think it was Lindsay who was talking about Africa earlier, and here's from the AP from yesterday or a couple days ago. Complete collapse of economies ahead as Africa faces virus. In Kampala, Uganda, some of Uganda's poorest people used to work here on the streets of Kampala as fruit sellers sitting on the pavement, or peddlers of everything from handkerchiefs to roasted peanuts. Now they're gone, and no one knows when they will return, victims of a global economic crisis linked to the coronavirus that could wipe out jobs for millions across the African continent, many who live hand to mouth with zero savings. The economic crisis that the rest of the world has just stopped is hurting other countries, not necessarily just the coronavirus. We've been through a lot on the continent. Ebola, yes, African governments took a hit, but we have not seen anything like this before. Ahuna Eziokonwa, the United Nations Development Program Regional Director for Africa, told the Associated Press. The African labor market is driven by imports and exports, and with the lockdown everywhere in the world, it means basically that the economy is frozen in place. And with that, of course, all the jobs are gone. More than half of Africa's 54 countries have imposed lockdowns, curfews, travel bans, and other measures in a bid to prevent local transmission of the virus. They range from South Africa, where inequity and crime plague Africa's most developed country, to places like Uganda, where the informal sector accounts for more than 50% of the country's gross domestic product, as in informal sector as in people who just sell shit on the streets. The deserted streets in downtown Kampala, Uganda's capital, underscore the challenge facing authorities across the world's poorest continent, home to 1.3 billion people, how to look after millions of people stuck at home for weeks or even months of lockdown. Some governments saying they're unable to offer direct support. The fate of Africa's large informal sector could be a powerful example of what experts predict will be unprecedented damage to economies in the developing world. Among the millions made jobless are casual laborers, petty traders, street vendors, mechanics, taxi operators, and conductors, housekeepers and waitresses, and dealers in everything from used clothes to construction hardware. Unless the virus spread can be controlled, up to 50% of all projected job growth in Africa will be lost as aviation, services, exports, mining, agriculture, and the informal sector all take a hit, Izia Konwa said. So yeah, this is, it's crushing the whole world, and so hopefully this shit gets under control somehow. But it's gonna change the world for a while. I don't think it's gonna spring back super fast. Anyway, by the way, I do have the cup of reparations coffee. Although someone had an oppression blend. Who was talking about the oppression blend? I might have to check that out too. But you know, it's one of the oppressors was telling me about the oppression blend. I couldn't even tell the joke. I couldn't get it out of my mouth. Anyway, all right. And one more here. Where is this one? Oh, how about the Philippines? How is this affecting the Philippines? Well, man refusing to wear face mask shot dead in Philippines after the president's threat. God. They're not fucking around in the Philippines. Let's just put it that way. Good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
And check your logic, what's happening. All right. A man was shot dead in the Philippines after he was scolded by a health official for not wearing a face mask. Apparently, the health officials are armed and dangerous. The 63-year-old flew into a rage after receiving the warning from the healthcare worker in the town of Nasipit in the south of the country. He is thought to have been drunk at the time. A police report claimed, according to Al Jazeera. The man grabbed a scythe and began threatening Okay, hang on a second. So the headline is, man refusing to wear face mask shot dead in Philippines after the president's threat. Okay, dear editors of the Mirror, is this just clickbait? You know what a scythe is, right? Like one of those things that the Grim Reaper carries. Now, but the suspect got angry, uttering provoking words and eventually attacking the personnel using a scythe. This guy's trying to kill people with this. He's trying to cut somebody. He's gonna cut a bitch. And the police officer shot him dead after reportedly trying to calm him. Like, calm the fuck down and stop swinging that thing around. But the president did say that they were gonna have people shot. But anyway, the death is the... I'm so sorry. I read ahead on this next line. The death is the first coronavirus-related killing to take place in the country after President Rodrigo Duterte, however you say his name, Duterte, warned anyone not following lockdown measures would be shot. So he did warn them that they might be shot, but at least it was the dude was he was going to cut a bitch. I'm just telling you. In a televised address last week, the strongman leader said it was vital everyone cooperates and follows home quarantine measures. He also said the abuse of medical workers was a serious crime that would not be tolerated. It is getting worse. So once again, I'm telling you that the seriousness of the problem and that you must listen, Mr. Duterte said on Wednesday. My orders to the police and military: if there is trouble and there is occasion that they fight back and your lives are in danger, shoot them dead now. Even that. Listen to the words. His words were, if there is trouble and there is an occasion that they fight back and your lives are in danger, shoot them dead. When I've heard this, and I'm not saying that he's not a little bit psycho, but that's a little bit different than just shoot them if they're out and about. If they fight back and your life's in danger, then you can shoot them. It's okay. I don't know. Anyway, is that understood? Dead. Instead of causing trouble, I will bury you. Now that's a little bit. I was going to say it's passive aggressive, but it's just straight up aggressive. Anyway, good morning, Zombie Teddy. By the way, is Sith here somewhere? I didn't even see Sith come in. Anyway, Sith, if you're here, hi to you too, buddy. Amnesty International condemned the remark as deeply alarming and said they follow reports of inhumane punishment for lawbreakers of the coronavirus lockdown, such as being detained in dog cages and sitting for hours in the sun. There have been 3,600 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in the Philippines and 414 deaths. So that's what's happened in the Philippines. And then there's just one more that Gunfox said that I'm going to get to here. So obviously the airlines are probably having a tough time right now. They're still out there trying to, they still have to have flights, and they are. But they got to, they have to make sure that they are prepared for the coronavirus, right? It's funny because, speaking of which, I know this is complete tangent, not quite, but why are the subways still running in New York City? I've asked that question the other day, and I got some interesting answers. But okay, let me go back to this. So the airlines have to figure out how they're going to do this, because we've got this 6 feet recommendation, and they want people to, do the social distancing and all that. Well, American Airlines flight crams its only 11 passengers into the last 3 rows, according to a report. American Airlines is flying in the face of coronavirus safety protocols and its passengers' well-being, according to a trio of whistleblowing flight attendants. Despite there being only 11 people on a Tuesday, March 24th flight, the company allegedly refused to allow them to adhere to the social distancing measure of sitting 6 feet apart, instead forcing them all into the last 3 rows. Mother Jones reports. Okay, I just took the exit out because it's Mother Jones, but it's probably true. The reasoning behind it is, well, they bought basic economy fares, so we can't put them further up in the cabin because that would be an upgrade. What?
You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
What? Oh my God.
How dare you?
You gotta be kidding me. Despite a lack of protocol allowing them to do so, flight attendants took it upon ourselves to spread them out, she claims to the outlet. Well done. Well done. Well done. That same day, American, the world's largest airline in terms of both passenger number and fleet size, did finally issue a new relaxed seating policy in response to the pandemic. It allows gate agents to reassign seats to create more space between customers and for passengers to move to another seat within their ticketed cabin subject to availability, adding that 50% of standard middle seats in every seat and every seat boarding jump seat should be left empty. The apparent reactionary measure may not have been sufficient, however, as the company continued to enforce pricing tiers on nearly empty flights, Mother Jones reports. Sorry, it's Mother Jones. They are always going to get an extra down. Ex-Bubba Hotep, what is up, sir? How you doing? Additionally, the last row of every flight is blocked for airport control, and those seats are never assigned unless... Oh, I skipped... Yeah, okay. American Airlines told the Post that Mother Jones declined to provide them with the flight numbers for the trips in question. Yeah, you just wonder. Anyway, additionally, the last rows of every flight is blocked for airport control, and those seats are never assigned unless the flight is completely full, a representative said via email. However, one frequent flyer told the Post she experienced a similar scenario on her last American Airlines flight. This was on March 7th March 7th. March 7th. Okay, what? The date that the social distancing guidelines went into place, I believe, was March 16th. It's somewhere around there. So this was, yes, they were talking about it and they had these guidelines, but there hadn't been any places that completely shut down yet. Okay. Anyway, this was on March 7th from JFK to LAX. All passengers were shoved in the last 8 rows and had about 12 rows free. Now, I don't know why, even if they're, here's the dumb thing about that. If you have a flight that has that few seats, do you really think that the flight attendants are going to care if you move around if those seats aren't booked? Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm not familiar with American Airlines. I know when you fly, I fly Delta mostly. Because they have a huge, whatever you call it. Their hub is here. One of their hubs is Minneapolis because it used to be Northwest Airlines. And when you fly to Delta, there's really not that, they have first class, they have comfort class, which those are the seats you pay an extra $100 to get an extra 4 or 5 inches of leg room, which I have to do because I'm 6'4" and I don't fit in airline seats very well. But most of the rows are just, the vast majority of the seats are just normal seats. And so I don't know why they would cram them all in the 12 seats in the back if there's no one else on the flight. I'm sure flight attendants would be like, oh, sit wherever you want. We don't have many people flying today. So I don't get it. Anyway, that's just crazy. So anyway, there's just people bitching about airlines. All right, let's do this. It's time for Twitter Trends. But before I do Twitter Trends, I'm remembering, what am I doing there? What did I just do there? Oh, there we go. Before I do Twitter Trends, I have some PDK news that I'm going to do today. Because I've been doing Twitter Trends and kind of neglecting the PDK news. Today, we're going to do PDK news. And perhaps I might have to somewhat neglect the Twitter Trends, which people are, I get the feeling that Twitter Trends bore people, but sometimes there's some good things in there. Like, for example, the first top thing trending on Twitter today, and this is ironic. Did you know today is World Health Day? Well, and it says to applaud our health heroes. That's fascinating. But let's get into the PDK news. There's a Grillin' Pirate Pete's been busy. I decided that I'd try to get some of the stuff that Pete and Gunfox have been giving me because they've been very prolific as far as sending me information, sending me things to put on here. Plus, I got a couple others. Let's see. We already did the mascot eating the cheerleader. That didn't sound right. Okay, here's one from Chicago Mike. Pandemic anxiety is making us sleepless, forgetful, and angry. Oh, really? Oh, this is a Washington Post article. I can't do it. Because the Washington Post, I'm not subscribed. I should probably, you know what? This is probably the one of these stupid newspapers I should subscribe to. Because basically, Monkey was talking about this the other night. They're the one paper that everyone quotes. It's like nobody really does their own news anymore. They just quote from other people's news. So they either quote from the Washington Post, or they quote from the New York Times, or they quote from BuzzFeed. BuzzFeed. Okay, sorry, Pete, I can't do that one. It is telling me no. Let's do Chicago Mike. Let's see. Della Hayes gave me this one. Probably laughed harder than I should have. Okay, let's check this out. Well, thank you, Della Hayes. Let's check this out. Here we go.
That's working. That's working. That's working. That's working. And that's working. What she mean she's fucking bored?
Okay, Della Hayes. Disavow. 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 All right. Pirate Pete. We got one here. Man in U-Haul parking lot throws a firecracker at woman during dispute. What's the worst that can happen? Well, let's find out. Let's see. This is from Keezy.com. Let's see what happens. Oh no, man arrested after fire breaks out at U-Haul. Oh goodness, a raging fire broke out last night at a U-Haul on River Road, but police say the story behind how the fire got started is even flashier than the flames themselves. Sergeant, here, let's just watch the report here. Let's see if it plays. Here we go. Oh, commercial. We'll mute the commercial.
Come to Bandon for fresh.
Can't mute the commercial? Yeah, you can.
And
oh, there we go. Sergeant Schatz with the Eugene Police Department said that this all started with a dispute between a man and a woman. Oh, here we go. Here, now.
At the U-Haul on River Road, but the story behind how the fire got started is even flashier than the flames themselves. I spoke to Sergeant Stotts early this morning, who told me this all started with a dispute between a man and a woman in the U-Haul parking lot. The man was in a vehicle and threw a lit firework at the woman standing outside the vehicle. She ducked for cover as the firework burst into sparks and the man drove away. But that's not where the story ends. Unbeknownst to the man and the woman having what seemed to be a lover's quarrel, was a thief underneath one of the other U-Hauls stealing gas. The sparks from the fireworks flew near the gasoline, and 4 of the U-Hauls burst into flames, with the thief catching on fire as well. The gasoline thief and the woman both ran from the scene. Once police and fire arrived, the owner of the U-Haul shop showed up too. They were able to pull the security footage from the U-Haul cameras and identify the license plate of the man who threw the firework. The police said they arrested the man before the fire had even been put out, all thanks to the security cameras showing his license plate.
Oh no.
He's been charged with reckless endangering, criminal mischief, and I believe those are it for right now.
Yeah, but for the gasoline, wait a minute. The dude throwing the firecracker, which probably wasn't a smart thing to do, reckless endangerment, I can get. But how's he supposed to know that there's someone underneath the truck stealing gasoline out of it? Oh my gosh.
Police were not able to locate them, although they did see him fleeing the scene with his pants on fire. 2 of you had a total loss.
Oh, so did you hear that? He was fleeing the scene. The guy stealing gas was fleeing the scene with his pants on fire. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. Okay, moving on. Let's see another one for Pete. Forest fire near Chernobyl boosts radiation level. Oh, great. Let's see this one here. In Minsk, Belarus, Ukrainian firefighters labored into Sunday night trying to put out 2 forest blazes in the area around the Chernobyl nuclear power station, which was evacuated because of radioactive contamination after the 1986 explosion at the plant. Ukraine Emergency Services said one of the fires, covering about 5 hectares, I always say that word wrong, but I did it right this time, which is approximately 12 acres, had been localized. It said the other fire was about 20 hectares, which is equivalent to 50 acres. Earlier Sunday, the head of the State Ecological Inspection Service, Yahor Firsov, said the flames had spread to about 100 hectares, which is the equivalent of 250 acres. The discrepancy in sizes could not be immediately resolved. Firsov, because they have Russian tendencies and they don't tell you everything. Anyway, Firsov said that radiation levels at the fire were substantially higher than normal, but the emergency services said radiation levels in the capital of Kiev, about 100 kilometers south, were within norms. I don't know. Anyway, the fires were within the 2,600 square kilometer Chernobyl exclusion zone established after the 1986 disaster at the plant that sent a cloud of radioactive fallout over much of Europe. The zone is largely unpopulated, although about 200 people have remained despite orders to leave. Well, you know, the thing is, if you remained in that area, you're refusing to leave, that's where you live, that third eye that you grew can come in really handy when you're looking for things. So, you know, what are you going to do? So, moving on. Let's see what else we got here under the PDK news. Let's see, another one from Pirate. World just lost a lot of base model Dodge Chargers. Oh, no. Oh, no. A Florida fire. This is another fire story. Florida brush fire burns over 3,500 airport rental cars at the stake. Oh my gosh. Flames tore through an overflow parking area near Southwest Florida International Airport on Friday, destroying thousands of rental cars and creating a huge spectacle in the process. Witnesses say they saw and heard multiple small explosions and flames jumping high into the air with showers of sparks. The drama unfolded in broad daylight and was enough to draw people out of their homes to gawk as plumes of black smoke could be seen up to 20 miles away from the Fort Myers facility. Holy shit, look at that. That's some intense shit right there. Okay. In all, over 3,500 cars were either damaged or destroyed in the fire, according to the New Press. Another 3,850 were spared from the flames, but the whole scene looked like something from an apocalyptic movie. Luckily for the airport, the lot where the cars were parked is far enough from the terminals that no damage was reported. The facility's access road was closed, so the few passengers that were traveling on Friday had to be shuttled in from parking areas. So, as it said earlier in the article, which I just didn't read this part, yeah, the world just lost a ton of base model Dodge Chargers. That's not good. Anyway, thank you, Pirate Pete. And let's see, I'll do one more and then we're going to get into Twitter trends. Let's pick a good one here. We've got, let's see. Oh, wait, what? Pete says gators are pretty nasty already. Now they have drugs and guns? Oh gosh, gotta read it. Lots of fire stories though. A baby alligator found with drugs, guns in Florida arrest. I mean, even the gators are drug dealers. Holy shit. Let's see. Seminole County, Florida authorities are tracking a stolen car. Also discovered heroin, cocaine, guns, and a baby alligator when they went to make the arrest. Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lemma announced details of the bust in a news conference on Friday. He said a deputy ran the plates on the car, learned it was stolen, and followed it to a Lake Mary house. That's where the deputies found the drugs and a baby alligator that was being kept as a pet. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's get into Twitter trends, gang, and then we're going to get out of here. I just got to check the old Oh, by the way, a couple thank yous real quick. Thank you, Becca Fairley, for tweeting out the show like you always do. You know how much I appreciate it. Also, Necksaw Collins did that too. If you would be so kind, I would appreciate it if you would do it too. Hit the share arrow down below. Here, let's fix this. Hit the share arrow down below, or you can go on Twitter and find me. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Becca Fairley's tweeting out the show, and I'm going to put it in the chat. And now you can right-click that and do one quick retweet on that. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm up to 626 already. It was just 600 about a week ago, so we're growing slowly. Got to get to that 1,000 though. 1,000 is here's the thing. At 1,000, I can do regular super chats. I know some of you don't like to do the Streamlabs because you got to do it through PayPal and all that shit. Super chats are still pretty. I guess they're still pretty secure. They don't have to put a name out. Also, but the bigger thing for me, I wasn't going to do the super chat. I wasn't going to monetize the channel, but I know some people would rather do super chats than Streamlabs. But also, the other thing that I want to be able to do is to stream on the road from my phone. You can't do mobile streaming on YouTube anymore unless you have at least 1,000 subscribers. Now I have more than enough. Hours watched. I mean, you need like 4,000 hours, and I average about, I think, 12,000 a month, which is fine. And that's thanks to you guys. You guys have been everything. But if you can share this out as often as you can, don't retweet. Okay, like is great, but retweet is better, and because then other people see it. So they'll always see your retweet. They will not always see the like. All right, let's check out Twitter trends on the Explore tab. They're still up. We're back. Yesterday it was Kibi, but today is back to coronavirus. The update. Now France is reporting its worst day of COVID-19 deaths so far. The total number of global cases has surpassed 1.3 million. Okay, here's the thing. When they give you this total number of global cases, and they say it's 1.3 million. Governor Cuomo's having his, he's doing his press conference right now. We're not going to go watch it though. I don't have time. Just remember, China probably isn't reporting all of theirs. Also, we don't know how many global cases there are because we know there's not testing in all 203 countries where this is happening. We know that a large number, I don't know if it's a majority, I don't know if it's a plurality, I don't know, but a very, very large number of the cases probably never get diagnosed. You had mild symptoms, you probably thought you had a cold, you had, very little, it had very little effect on you. And they know that there are cases like asymptomatic cases. They don't know. I would guess that it's 4 to 5 times as many actual cases around the world. I bet there's at least 1 million cases in China, and they're still only reporting 83,000. But that's because of the asymptomatic cases that where they don't have this problem. But the cases that they have confirmed, 1.3 million, including more than 70,000 fatalities around the world. Over 280,000 patients are reported to have recovered. Get the latest updates from around the world. The United States nears 11,000 deaths. France reports its highest daily death total of 833. The UK Prime Minister is in intensive care. Get well soon, Boris Johnson. We hope for him. China reports no new deaths. Anyone disagree? Here's the thing. The other thing is, so they say that they only have 8,000 some deaths, and it's not even up to 9,000 yet in the entire country now. But why did they have to order 45,000 burial urns? Just curious. Anyway, who knows what their numbers are. South Korea has fewer than 50 new cases for the second day. Spain records 743 deaths in the last 24 hours. Information from the world. Okay, so anyway, the ABC News adds France has not peaked, according to the health minister. Up to 10,000 cases in Africa. Not good. But that's the entire continent. You know, that's the other thing. You can't compare the United States to Africa. It's completely different. And so when someone says, well, South Korea only did this, or, you know, Germany only had this many, there's a lot of factors. And I think one of the biggest factors is how many people from that area traveled to your country. Just curious. Hello, cameraman Jay, D.I. Freighter. I already said all you need. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Yeah, China reports no new deaths for the first time. And you know what? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's improbable. But you just never know. Anyway, Japan to announce state of emergency and 990 billion stimulus package. World leaders send support to UK Boris Johnson after being moved to intensive care. China reports no new deaths. Worldwide, 74,816 deaths, according to that. Canada, Nova Scotia records its first death. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio says patients needing ventilators has improved in recent days. Mexico reporting more than 2,400 cases. Again, the farther you get, it seems the less number of cases you get. Again, human-to-human transmission. They've said this a while ago. In warmer, more humid climates, there's less chance of human-to-human transmission. So, I you know, there's 2,400 cases in Mexico. Is that going to be as exponential as it would be in the northern hemisphere states? I'm still curious about California, though. California, for some reason, also doesn't have as many cases as you'd think. But anyway, so this is the NBC. The coronavirus U.S., a map of where the cases have been confirmed across the country. This map is continually updated as data comes in. I can't really see it because they're just showing it scroll. So, can you pause this? Oh, you can. So, when they had 100,000 confirmed cases, you can see Texas, California, Louisiana, Washington, New York is the one that's been hit the hardest. Anyway, all right, enough of coronavirus. By the way, real quick here, just check my notifications. Thank you, Skookum, for retweeting the tweet of the tweet. I appreciate it. Who is Skookum in the chat, though? That's not what you call yourself in the chat. Skookum, who are you? RDNK Engineer. I'm not sure who Skookum is. Skookum, speak up in the chat. Good morning, Midnight in Exile. Midnight in Exile and Heroic Nico. What's happening? Harry Chen has been posting short videos taken by Chinese citizens that are sent to him. I'll have to check that out. Thank you for letting me know. All right, let's get into the trends and let's get out of Dodge here. So, again, trending number one. Irony of ironies, trending number one on Twitter today at this moment is World Health Day. Happy World Health Day. Okay. All right, we're gonna do one of those little polls that we do on the Morning Night Live every once in a while. When we click on a trending topic, let me find out how many people in the chat. Oh, this is the over-under. This is the over-under. How many tweets on the top of this topic is it going to take before we hear something about Donald Trump? I'm going to say 3. You pick your number. I'm going to give you a chance to figure that out. Meanwhile, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is blasting conservative justices who blocked Wisconsin. Okay, Wisconsin request to change their voting. Okay. Oh, no, nothing bad about RBG. How many before there's something blasting Donald Trump on the World Health Day topic when I click it? How many tweets do I have to read? And again, I'm going to say 3. Smarty Bear says 5. Oh, by D.I. Freighter, Gunfox 2. At Midnight in Exile says 2. Heroic Nico 1. We got a lot of between 5, 2, over 3.5. Oh, you're doing the over. All right. Hopefully, and Dogs and Lindsay getting here. Oh, well, you'll have these. All right, good. All right, here we go. We're clicking for blasting your queefs. What did I say? Did I say that? I don't know what I said. 10. Oh, 10 Advocatus Diablo. You're okay. You are optimistic. All right. I'm clicking now. Here we go. Happy World Health Day. Let me give 50,000 K to just 2 lucky people now. We'll still give airtime later, but before then, retweet and reply as many words as you know that start with the letter C, one after the other, using Ege Nimos Let You Go. The more replies, the more your chances. I have no idea who this is. Someone named the official Niniola. 50K what? What currency was that 50K going to be? Is it 50K Naira, like in Nigeria? Is it 50K, whatever that currency is in Venezuela? 50K in Venezuela is about 42 cents. I don't know. Okay, that's the first one. That's one. Number 2, Happy World Health Day. Fanfare for the families. This day celebrates the work of health professionals around the world working to keep communities healthier. This year is certainly no exception as health workers stand on the front lines to commit themselves to limit the global impact of coronavirus. Okay, no Donald Trump yet. Going to number 3. Nobody wants to do the dirty job, giving bedpans, dressing stage 4 pressure ulcers, bathing a patient, and so on. The effort and passion nurses put into serving community is awesome. Today, I celebrate every nurse and midwife all over the world. Okay, we're staying positive so far. Number 4. Okay, that's the U.S. Census Bureau. I'm skipping that. That's promoted. I'm skipping. Oh, here we go. Art International. Happy World Health Day. At Art International, we believe a healthy lifestyle starts with a healthy mindset. That's why we are steadfast in our mission to make accelerated resolution therapy accessible to all individuals who suffer from PTS and other mental diagnoses. I would say who suffer from TDS, but anyway. Okay, that's 4. 5. SD Associates, Happy World Health Day. Now more than ever, it's important to make sure your health and the health of your business accounts are safe and secure. For all your financial needs, contact the professionals at SD Associates today. Okay, that's an advertisement, but it's not a promoted, so that's a real tweet. Number 5. Happy World Health Day. This is the World Food Prize. Today, we'd like to honor Dr. Evangelina Villegas and Dr. Surinder Vazal, our 2000 WFP laureates. The work of Dr. Villegas and Vazal has improved the nutritional content of maize, as in corn. This development is contributed to the health of lives around the globe. Okay, number 6. Happy World Health Day from Kim Eco Habits. With everything going on in the world, today is an especially good day to be thankful for our health and all of the healthcare providers, hospitals, and others out there saving lives. Thank you. So it's positive so far. Number 6. We might not, if we get past 10, I'm stopping. I'm going to be shocked. Blue Collar Building says, Happy World Health Day. This day was made to celebrate the work of nurses and healthcare workers and remind world leaders of the critical role they play in keeping the world healthy. How are you showing your appreciation to these amazing people? I know it's not users, but I'm telling you that it's the top tweets. I said top tweets. I know they're companies. Okay, we're going to skip. Okay, all right. We've got to 6. Let's go to the regular users. Good point, Matt Fields. Point well taken. We're going to skip any companies now. Prime Advertising, Square Care, Starkey Foundation, MoonLitTree.com. It's all companies. Well, actually, a couple of them weren't. One was a person. Scarlett Joseph? Okay. Pacific Kumar, Happy World, Fresh Juice, Stay Healthy. These are, it's like, okay. Here's one. Pranjay Mishra. Happy World Health Days. That's 6. This is 7. That's a fitness company, doesn't count. Ashish Chandrakar. We should show our support for the doctors, nurses, and midwives who are fighting and doing everything possible to fight against COVID-19. Happy World Health Day. That's a real person. Ministry of Health. That's okay. Phil. Okay, that's a company. Okay, someone from Nigeria. Alatunji S. Tulalope. From Nigeria, Happy World Health Day. That's 7. That's not a person. This is a company. Tawfiq Saeed, wishing you all a very happy World Health Day. 8. Yashwant Chandel, today, April 7th. April, I wish you a happy World Health Day. I know the whole world are struggling with a pandemic, COVID-19, so we all support the World Health and follow the instructions given by government and health worker and help to save the world by social distance. That's 9. That doesn't look like, that looks like a company. Okay, maybe just the Americans don't know it's World Health Day. No Trump derangement syndrome on World Health Day. I am shocked. Reset the count. I'm scrolling through at least 10 real people here, but it seems like a lot of them are for India. Like, people in the United States don't seem to care about this. I mean, they seem to be from India, Africa, World Health Day. Dr. Jane Ruth Singh, she's somewhere in Africa, in Uganda. That's weird. Not a single American up here. No one bitching about Trump. I am shocked. Even the people, but mostly they're because they're from other countries. We got that's a thought. Okay. All right. Hey, I'm sorry. I would reset the count, but I've gone through plenty of regular people, probably because it's not Americans. Trump was dying for world health is what I would expect. Yeah, I was thinking that. Or Trump has blood on his hands. Happy World Health Day. Some shit like that. All right. Fuck it. We're moving on. That took too long. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is mad. She is mad that the blast conservative justice who blocked Wisconsin's absentee voting extension. Either they will have to wait a minute. Absentee voting. Why do you need why do you need an extension for absentee voting in a primary? I don't know what did they ask for here? The Supreme Court, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg excoriated her conservative colleagues over their decision to deny Wisconsin Democrats' request to extend the deadline for absentee voting in the state's election on Tuesday, despite concerns over the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Why would you need an extension on absentee voting? Doesn't that just like you send your ballot? Maybe because the people are requesting absentee ballots. This is This is not a municipal election. Why does the Supreme Court even have to be involved in this? In a 5-4 vote on Monday, the Supreme Court's conservative bloc refused to extend the absentee voting deadline by 6 days, saying instead all mail-in ballots must be postmarked by Tuesday and received by April 13th. Democrats have pleaded with the courts to give more leeway to voters as COVID-19 wreaks havoc around the nation, infecting more than 366,000 people and killing more than 10,000. The nation's top public health. You know what? They're gonna try to change every law they can because of this virus. But I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because they've had more people request absentee ballots. But I'm not sure why they're asking to extend it. And also, first of all, I'm not really sure why the courts would deny this, because this is not, as far as I know, this is not their regular election. I could see if you said you're not going to extend the deadline for the November election, if people start asking for absentee ballots now, maybe. This is just for the Democratic primary, though. I don't know. Anyway, Ginsburg, who is joined in dissent by 3 other liberal judges, said her conservative colleagues' decision to see the election proceed as planned would effectively strip many Wisconsinites of their right to vote through no fault of their own. The question is whether tens of thousands of Wisconsin citizens can vote safely in the midst of a pandemic. Ginsburg wrote on Monday, with the majority stay in place, that will not be possible. Well, this is still a Democratic primary. I don't know. I don't understand the decision. I don't understand. And you know what? Now, see, look, who's politicizing this, though? Again, Ben Winkler. I'm about to explode. The 5 GOP U.S. Supreme Court justices just overruled 2 lower courts and shut off extended absentee voting in Wisconsin. Well, who are they suppressing by doing this? I'm not really sure, unless people haven't started getting absentee ballots. The Supreme Court's conservative members said such concerns had already been addressed, claiming that even in ordinary elections, absentee ballots are usually received on the day before or the day after the election. The dissent's rhetoric is entirely misplaced and completely overlooks the fact that the deadline for receiving ballots was already extended to accommodate Wisconsin voters from April 7th to April 13th. So they already had extended the time for absentee ballots. So maybe that's why they're saying, what's the point? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Don't care. I'm not voting in that election because I'm not Wisconsin. All right, back to, what the hell? Now this whole thing reset. Let's get back into it. Thank you. All right, moving on. Tuesday Thoughts is trending third. We'll do one thought here. The Democratic Coalition says no one deserves the Profile in Courage Award more than Speaker Pelosi. She's got more backbone in her pinky finger than the entire Republican Party. So apparently the JFK Foundation has not honored Nancy Pelosi with the Kennedy Profile in Courage Award. I'm moving on from Tuesday Thoughts. I'm not even going to read the article. I'm going to right click and read it later. All right. And it's still, okay, wait a minute. This is, okay, Tuesday Thoughts. That's the first of the top Tuesday Thoughts. Now, this is Penguin Books one. I don't care about. The best portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love, according to William Wordsworth, born in this day in 1770. Okay, I'm done with Tuesday Thoughts. That is a great thought. I'm going to read it again. The best portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. That's a great thought, and that's where I'm going to stop on Tuesday Thoughts. Moving on, White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham is leaving her post to become the First Lady's Chief of Staff. Interesting. That doesn't seem like an upgrade to me. I don't know what anybody, does that seem like a... I wonder what Mark Meadows has to do with that. Stephanie Grisham's not that great. Everyone seems upset that Stephanie Grisham never briefed the press, but everyone also seems upset that Trump is briefing the press every single day. So make up your minds, people. Thank you, Ben Shapiro. Someone else, Lachlan Marquet, says the time Stephanie Grisham literally shoved aside North Korea's security forces in order to get the U.S. press pool into a Trump-Kim event in the DMZ. Yeah, she has some cojones. She's like, fuck you, we're coming in, bitch. Caitlin Collins says, news, Stephanie Grisham is out as press secretary. She never briefed the reporters during her tenure. She's going back to the East Wing, and a communications shakeup is underway. Ooh. All right, that's enough for Stephanie Grisham. Moving on. After that, happy Jeong Day, which is something having to do with K-pop. Skip, Wisconsin primary. We already talked about it. Skip. Oh, they're trending with voter suppression. It's the Democratic primary. Okay. It's the Democratic primary. Oh, hey, John Lewis is trending because civil rights giant John Lewis has endorsed Joe Biden. Shocker. John Lewis, I thought he died. Oh no, that was the other guy that died. Okay. You know what? It's funny how. So that's CNN's description. That is the Twitter description. That's the first line of NBC's news description. That's Annie Sain's description. Of course, she's using CNN. Oh, and ABC News, Georgia congressman and civil rights icon John Lewis. I wonder what the talking points are today. Civil rights icon John Lewis. Hello. Hello. Washington, September 25th. U.S. Representative John Lewis listens during a news conference. Oh, civil rights icon and Democratic Representative John Lewis is endorsing Joe Biden, promising to campaign for the former vice president, saying that we need his leadership now more than ever. We also need him to take more ginkgo biloba because the dude is losing his mind. Anyway, he has been a friend, a dear friend. He's a man of courage, a man with great conscience, and a man of faith, Lewis said in a call with reporters. He will be a great president. He will lead our country to a better place. He will inspire another generation to stand up and speak out and be brave and bold. Lewis is among the most revered African American members of Congress and a leader of the Civil Rights Movement. In 1965, he was among the demonstrators marching for voting rights from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, a day that became known as Bloody Sunday. Lewis, 25 at the time, had his skull fractured by a white police officer who beat marchers crossing the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma that day. He is absolutely a civil rights icon. I'm not making fun of John Lewis. I'm just fascinating how all the media decided to use the exact same terminology today. But he is, in fact, a civil rights icon. I'm not saying that he's the greatest congressman in the planet, but he absolutely earned his status, let's say. All right, Tracy Morgan's trending. Uh-oh. Why is Tracy Morgan? You know Tracy Morgan, the comedian. He's funny as hell. Tracy Morgan, with a powerful message most politicians and mainstream media folk need to listen to. He essentially said that people need to stop criticizing Donald Trump and come together as a country. Unfortunately, he'll be attacked for it. Oh my gosh. Let's listen to Tracy Morgan.
Mother-in-law Chrissy says good morning.
What happened there? Oh.
About what life is like being at home for Tracy and his family.
Oh, well, me and my wife been quarantining in for like 3 weeks, so she's pregnant 3 times. Every week she got pregnant.
Okay. So, you know.
So we're role playing a lot now. We're role playing. She's playing a young maiden whose grandfather was infected with coronavirus, and I'm the scientist who discovered the cure, and she'll do anything to save her grandfather's life.
Oh my God!
I mean anything.
Well, you are a creative one. All right, so tell me now. We know what your house looks like because you know what.
We're gonna watch this whole thing because he's funny as hell.
We know what's going on in that home of yours. There's a bowling alley.
Well, that's not important. I mean, even like I was just watching the show. This tiger in the Bronx Zoo got me scared. So I'm going to get all my pets tested. I'm getting my sharks tested. I'm getting my moray eel tested. I just bought a 600-pound silverback gorilla.
So,
I'm gonna take him back.
If you're familiar with the show, what is it? Those guys who make the fish tanks, the reality show. Tracy Morgan had a fish tank made by those guys. He has some huge fish in his tank. Anyway,
the New York Presbyterian.
There's a shark.
Get him tested.
Everybody's gonna get tested. Are you for real, or are you just pretending?
No, I'm for real, man. This is real stuff.
Okay.
I mean, this is real stuff. Yesterday, I was driving to the supermarket, and I didn't have my mask on. I was in my car with the windows up, and I didn't have my mask on and my gloves on. And I stopped at a red light, and this lady pulled up next to me, and she said, roll your window down. I rolled it down. She said, you don't got your gloves on? You don't got your mask on? Ooh, I'm telling.
Do you make it a habit, Tracy, normally of wearing the glove and the mask? Are you adhering to all the things they're telling us to do?
Well, yeah, absolutely. My mask is right here. I got the N95. But this is not the norm. But I finally feel like a real surgeon.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting about you, Tracy? I remember when you went through what you went through with your accident, and you talked so much about the nurses and doctors who saved your life.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond that. My dad told me when you was born, when the doctors pulled you out of your mom, they could have dropped you on your head. So I give them respect from that day. These are the good hand people. They know what they're doing. They fight in the front line. I love them. So I spent a lot of time in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And I know what goes on in there.
You know, he had that limo accident. The Walmart truck hit his limo. He spent over a year recovering from his injuries. So I'm sure he does have respect for doctors and nurses.
I know these people, they work hard to take care of you.
They sure do.
I'm very proud of them. They're my heroes. Like I said, while we running out of the burning building, the firemen are running in.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Tracy.
These police officers that come out of their house to patrol the streets, they don't know if they're ever going back home. So we got to give them respect. I respect that.
I totally, completely agree with you. Tracy, a lot of people are at home and they're looking for something to watch. And season 3 of your show, The Last OG, is on.
His show is
All right,
funny,
tell
too.
them what they'll be in store if they tune
Wait,
in.
now, this is not the part of the interview I want to see, though.
This is going to be awesome for people and for everyone involved in The Last OG. This is a gift to the world. This is a gift to the world to keep you entertained and maybe identify, relate. The struggle is real. Right now, we're struggling. People want to criticize the president, but imagine being the president of a country and have your country got sick. So it's difficult for him. We all got to pull together as people now. Now is not the time for blame and all of these other things and anger. It's here now. We got to just be together. We got to all stay safe. Nobody wants to transmit it. Nobody wants to attract it. Nobody wants to get it. So let's just stay safe and do the protocol that we have to do. Protect our kids and our pets.
Well, that's a good public service announcement, Tracy.
Right,
we appreciate you being
I wonder
here
if
with
he'll
us
get.
today. And we just want
Well,
to let
he's
people know
trending.
Season 3 of The Last OG that premieres tonight on
coming on
TBS.
tonight. It's
All
coming
right,
on
so
tonight.
let's see what people are saying about this right now. Tracy Morgan really out here telling Hoda he's okay. Never mind. He's impregnated his wife 3 times, talking about coronavirus sex role playing. That was pretty funny. You can hate what Tracy Morgan said, but stop these lies about him never being funny. He's always been funny. It's a quirky kind of funny. Tracy Morgan on Monday gave an emotional thank you to first responders and medical professionals for their tireless work amid coronavirus pandemic, to doctors, nurses, etc. Okay, no one's. They like the line about him impregnating his wife 3 times in 3 weeks. Okay, so not a whole lot time spent on. Oh, here we go. Tracy Morgan is trending on Twitter because he was supportive of the president on the Today Show. The left is vomiting blood. Try to catch the clip. It's everything. Watching Tracy. Oh, here's someone watching Tracy Morgan on the Today Show. Like, okay, given that stupid face. Looks to see why Tracy Morgan is trending. Okay. Tracy Morgan saying Sailor. Okay. That's from before. We don't need to talk about that one. Okay. For some strange reason, someone told white people that Tracy Morgan and Tiffany Haddish were funny. Tracy Morgan is funny. I'm not white. I think he's funny. All right. I love Tracy Morgan, but I don't even know. I know you don't put him on live TV. You should know not to put him on live TV when church folk are eating breakfast. All right, we're gonna go on from there. But he did have some good works there. It's not Shark Tank. Shark Tank's the one. Isn't the Shark Tank the one where they that's the guy with what's his name, where they try to take business ideas. That's Shark Tank. It's a different. The one they make it's the one where they make fish tanks. Anyway, SCOTUS is trending. We already know why. House 2, I don't know why it's trending. Thank you for the super chat. Cryptic is here. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Cryptic, for the super chat. France is struggling with transporting coronavirus patients to hospitals. They're using trains. However, they're having a hard time delivering patients to hospitals. Sending people on trains to inevitably die isn't that hard. Ask Germany. Oh, disavow. Hi, Cryptic. How you doing? Disavow. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I read it. I don't know if I should. House. Oh, I see. This is just talking about astrology. I don't give a care about that. Zhejiang. That would be K-pop Skip. Kayla McKinney. I don't even know it. Who's Kayla McKinney? Okay, let's find out. I can't remember. Oh, White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham releasing her post to become the First Lady's chief of staff. Kayla McKinney becomes the new press secretary for a president who sees himself as his own best press secretary. Okay, that's Maggie Hamer from the New York Times. The New York Times has very little good to say about President Trump, but apparently his new press secretary is Kaylee McKinney. Is she from those? She used to be on Fox and Friends. Is that who it is? Grisham is out. Replacing her will be Kayla McKinney, a campaign spokeswoman. Oh no, she's a campaign. She's the next. Now she's the national press secretary for Donald Trump 2020 campaign. Now she's going to be the spokesman for the president. What new White House Secretary Kayla McKinney was saying about coronavirus in February. On the same day, Larry Kudlow said coronavirus was contained on February 25th. Trump's campaign spokes made an even more bold claim. Will we not see diseases like coronavirus come here? And isn't it refreshing when contrasting it with the awful presidency of President Obama? Well, she got it wrong because everyone got it wrong for the most part. I don't know. Well, maybe not everyone, but there were a few who were more Alex Jones about it. There were a few who were more just listening to the experts, and this time the Alex Joneses were right. Anyway, Buffy, this is another, every day now we're getting these, which is the best of these 7 shows or these celebrities or these musicians or these 3 things. Today the question is, which of these 3 teen dramas are the best of the bunch? You can vote in the chat. From heartbreak, high school football, and oversized 90s button-downs to a ruthless online gossip forum, vampire slaying, and a heart transplant-eating dog. Teenage dramas made for some interesting TV watching. Okay, so here's your choices. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Veronica Mars, or who cares? There's some more. Here's your choices. Gossip Girl, Veronica Mars, Dawson Creek, The OC, One Tree Hill, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Friday Night Lights, Skins, or My So-Called Life. There are your choices. Pick one in the chat. Pick 3 if you want to, but there you go. I'm going to pick... Personally, I liked One Tree Hill just because it was so corny, but it had basketball in it, which is my thing. I think the Friday Night Lights series was pretty good, and I really did like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The others are all too soap opera for me, although One Tree Hill was pretty soap opera, but whatever. Yes, Michelle Gellar was amazing Buffy. So was the original Buffy. Blanking on her name right now. All right, enough of that one. Moving on, we're going to finish up with let's see what's at the end of the line here. Steak-'em. Oh my God. Remember Steak-'ems? Anyone remember Steak-'em? Like you bought this, it came frozen, it's like you pulled them apart. When Steak-'em does a better job informing the public than the entirety of the mainstream media. So Steak-'em writes, a friendly reminder. In times of uncertainty and misinformation, anecdotes are not data. Good data is carefully measured and collected information based on a range of subject-dependent factors, including but not limited to controlled variables, meta-analysis, and randomization. Okay, Steak-'em's getting out there. Outliers attempting to counter global consensus around this pandemic with amateur reporting and unverified sourcing are not collecting data. Thank you, Cryptic, for another super chat. Little Shaq action there. Why are Koreans so good at games? They see in widescreen resolution. Cryptic. If you weren't Asian, I would put you in the non-existent corner. All right, continuing. Steak-'em continues. Outliers attempting to counter global consensus around this pandemic with amateur reporting and unverified sourcing are not collecting data. Breaking news stories that only relay initial findings of an event are not collecting data. We have to be careful in our media consumption. It can be difficult to know what to believe in a time when institutional trust is diminished and the gatekeepers of information have been dismantled. But it's more crucial now than ever before to follow a range of credentialed sources for both breaking news and data collection. All we currently have are limited and evolving metrics that experts are deciphering and acting upon immediately to the best of their ability. This terrain leaves many openings for opportunists and charismatic manipulators to lead people astray by exploiting what they want to hear. Breaking news and storytelling will always be spun with interpretive bias from different media perspectives, but data is a science that can't be replaced by one-off anecdotes. Try to remember this to avoid fear-based sensationalism and conspiracy theories taking over your mind. You can maintain independent critical thinking towards institutions without dipping into fringe conspiracies that get jump-started by individual anecdotes being virally spread as data. It's not easy, but it's necessary to keep any semblance of responsible online informational flow. We're a frozen meat brand posting ads inevitably made to misdirect people and generate sales. So this is peak irony, but hey, we live in a society, so please make informed decisions to the best of your ability and don't let anecdotes dictate your worldview, okay? Stake 'em bless. If you thought this thread was useful, we posted another one recently touching on small, simple ways that the average person can take on the daily cultural challenges of this pandemic without demonizing or otherizing your neighbors. If you're able, please consider donating to Feeding America during this time. In today's climate of media inundation, it can be hard feeling like anything makes a difference, but when each of us come together, we form collective change. Stake 'em bless. I am going to put that link in the chat to that tweet thread. If you're on Twitter, you can follow it there. I'm also going to do a link to that Feeding America, because that might be the most wise thread I've ever seen a company on this planet put on Twitter. So there we go. I don't know if it fits. There's a problem here. Oh, it's making me wait. This is my place. What the hell? How am I? Why do I have to wait? Oh, because there's too many. Oh, it's way too big of a link. Anyway, all right. I'll do that tomorrow. That's why. Okay, never mind. Anyway, the website is Feeding America, and they have a COVID-19 response fund. If you are able, please contribute to that. That was a. Anyone else think that thread was just straight fire? Because, and you know what? It can't necessarily be. That's not. I don't think it's directed at any one person in particular, but that's what you get. And so here's what people are saying. The Stake 'em Twitter account is dropping some of the realest pandemic wisdom out there. Hell yeah. Tyler says, when your bullshit reasoning is called out by Stake 'em, it's funny because in the past few days, I've seen Stake 'em give better insight about data than some government officials, and Hulk Hogan give better theology comfort than some famous pastors. Truly a blessed timeline. Monique says Stake 'em is smarter than the current administration. I bet they're smarter than you too. They're Monique, whoever you are. Stake 'em is really speaking. Everyone's applauding Stake 'em, both right and left. I saw Stake 'em trending. I thought there was a recall or something. Yeah, I don't eat Stake 'em because I would rather cook real food. But hey, good for Stake 'em. SCOTUS is still trending. Samfo and Buffy, Stake 'em, Gossip Girl, and the OC. That's it for the Morning Night Live for today, people. We'll just finish with Stake 'em there. One last note. Let's see my notifications here. Brooks comment. Oh, that was just someone liking one of my tweets, so that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today for the Morning Night Live. I'm glad you dropped by. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure you hit the thumbs up, which is that little thumbs up thing down there below. Duck Dog took care of the one thumbs down of every day. That's a good thing too. Also, if you haven't done so, by the way, if you haven't done so, on your way out, make sure you click. Also, please share the stream out or retweet one of the tweets that tweet the tweet of the tweets. Okay, you can do that too. And if you want to help the show financially, you can always do that through the Streamlabs link in the description down below. That pdognight.live. It's in this chat. It's in the description. It's right there on the screen, right below my face. And hey, it's been fun. But on that note, I gotta go. Thanks, chat. Thank you, Cryptic and Matt Fields, the top donors of the day on the Streamlabs link. And that's it. I gotta go. My name's P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Have a great day. Bye bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.